60% of what is produced in West Africa is done in Ogun State, right? Have you ever been to Abeokuta? Ngo is even better than Abeokuta. So the point is, it's not really about production. It's about people. So if you've ever spent time, let's say, look at the biggest cities, go to London, go to New York, go to Dubai, go to some other interesting places. You realize that these economies does not produce anything. If you go to Milan, if you go to, one of the days I was in Duomo, one place in Milan, they call it Duomo do Milano, that's that church in Milan. And that day, I think there was Paris Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week. So we had like 2 million people in a particular place. Do you know what it means to have 2 million people in a place? So what it means is 2 million people are going to fly different kind of airlines, right? 2 million people are going to book all types of hotels, right? 2 million people are going to buy food in all types of restaurants, right? Can you see the effects of the economy? Enugu is hosting this amazing program. I came in for a program. I was meant to leave, but I said, no, let me extend it. And yes, we are also staying in a hotel. And as much as I still have a house in Enugu anyway, but we have to stay here. But the point is, within the period, when we came, where we did our program, we used Nike Lake Resort. And we booked 150 rooms, and we did it for 3 days. This is how societies grow. And imagine if you come to Enugu, remember during December periods, whereby all hotels are booked. So imagine if we have people from everywhere coming to Enugu all the time. This is how economies grow. This is how they value and that's why security is of utmost importance. So it's not really about production. If you want, turn everywhere to coal mining. Trust me, if you can't attract most people, you'll be as what as Congo. So, cultivating the innovation. Let me tell you a little bit about my story. I lead a company called Educare. Fortunately, we've done a lot of leap, but the idea came, I would not even say it's the idea. I mean, in 2013, I was doing my youth service. So my co-founder is also here, Mr. Henry. So he joined me. I was already a copper before he joined. And I was in Lekki British School. As at then, Lekki British used to be the best school. So while we were there, different companies came to pitch. They want to build this, he joined. And I was in Lekki British School, so he understands graphics very well. So I told Mr. Tola, since you've interviewed 6 people and they can't solve it, why can't we solve it? He said if we can solve it, he will give us all the information that we require, and let's try. I said, okay, no problem, I'm going to try. So he explained, can't we solve it? He said if we can solve it, he will give us all the information that we require, and we need you to license it to us, from us. So he moved from paying us 30,000 to 1.3 million every time. So that was our first customer, and that is our longest customer. So when we built this, over a period, when they were using it, GT Bank came. They wrote to us. They love what we are doing at Lekki British. They will want to extend what we are doing to 20,000 of their customers, right? So we never really understood what those things looks like. We said, okay, let's restructure the application, because then the way we designed it, we didn't design it for scale. We designed it for, you have to give you these droplets and all. We have to re-engineer the application, pull it down, redesign it for scale. Unfortunately, that deal didn't work. At some point, they approached us. They said, okay, let them buy us up for 600 million. So I told my team then, we are very small then, I told them that if these people see value in us to buy us for 600 million, they didn't work. At some point, they approached us. They said, okay, let them buy us up for 600 million. So we continued the journey. We started expanding to more schools. So even then, I remember one of the schools then, Hokma, owned by Salvation Ministry, Hokma School. They said, you know what, some of their customers on their neck, they had to introduce them to us because they also want to keep their reputation as well. So that was how we started growing. Right now, we have over 2,000 top quality schools. And I mean, if you know most of the top schools in Nigeria, they use our software. And what did we do? Because we understood we were inside the system, we understood at first hand what the problem looks like. We built a system that could actually solve that problem. And from Lekki British, we grew, right, to everywhere. And then we started getting into different countries. So if you notice what I said, we were inside the system. This is actually a pattern. In 2014, we had this group called Silicon Africa. So if you notice what I said, we were inside the system, an inside to outside experience. Flutterwave, he used to work in Access Bank. Even let's go back. Herbert and Ige, they used to work in GT Bank, right? Paystack used to do integration. If you go to MoneyPoint, Tosin used to work in InterSwitch, right? Even if you had the idea to solve MoneyPoint problem, trust me, you may not have the competence to solve it. And go to Zoom. You know how big Zoom is, right? Zoom used to work in WebEx. So there is an advantage you have when you are in a system. Because, building solutions and software requires a lot, right? And you wouldn't want to spend 2-3 years trying to build something just to realize that people are still guessing if it's something that they really need. So most of the time, the best co-founders are probably your ex-colleagues. So if you are working somewhere, it can be in government, it can be in an organization, trust me, that is the best time to identify the next big thing. Like my colleagues know, there's almost nothing we can do that will fail. The reason is very simple. We have understood innovation at its core. Like my colleagues know, there's almost and how. When you don't have money, right, your brain seems to work better. And when you have money, your brain seems to start dying. That is why comfort is a bad place to be, especially when you want to grow. So then, of course, we didn't have money. We also needed to get some quality people, right? I told them, you know what? Concentrate on trying to manage educare. Let me go and consult my innovation head. So I discovered something. So I went to Facebook. I opened a page called Babies Are Beautiful. So Babies Are Beautiful, what do? I just post beautiful babies. I grew from 0 to 8.7 million. So Babies Are Beautiful, what do? I improved. I started making 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K. I was already targeting 100K until Facebook, when they introduced those clickbait and some of these issues, right? But at some point, Johnson & Johnson reached out because I was really popular. 5.5 million of my followers were from the US. Remember, all the money I make from the blogging and the Facebook, I push it to development of educare, right? The US. Remember, all the money I make from the blog. And Henry, if we are still of this value, let's hold on a bit because I was $6 million then. I still reminded Henry, if we are still of this value, let's hold on a bit because I posted a woman that was breastfeeding her child. Then they started when they had this Cambridge Analytica issue, they started looking at everybody. So when they blocked it, I was like, wow, is this the end of the road? But I was very fortunate because we've made a lot of investment and we've made a lot of progress in educare. At least we've vented over, plus or minus like $1 million trying to build. And all these things were money that we hustled, right? So I now told them that I have learned one lesson. You cannot build your future in somebody else's infrastructure. At this point, we need to bring our 2 legs inside the water Either we swim to the end or we die. So that was when I had to step down as my Facebook engagement. Let me put a lot more energy. We just started building, we started growing. Our biggest growth time was during COVID, right? Now, I hope as you are listening to my story, you are picking very important points for yourself. If we are 1 million, if we are 500 or 1,000 in this room, and you want to raise money, trust me, you may be only 2 that will succeed. Raising capital takes time. Sometimes it can even take you more than 6 months. And it takes a lot of energy. You fly to Lagos, you do this and do that. At the end of the day, there is absolute no guarantee. Right? So now, by the time we did this, we got to the point whereby we didn't need money anymore. And as at the time we didn't need money anymore, that was when people started writing us from everywhere. Oh, we've seen what you guys do. We would love to invest. And our simple response is, thank you for your interest. We don't need money. So the point is, we were in a system. We saw a problem. We could have as well ignored it and keep collecting our 30,000. We were prepared because we have been training ourselves. I started writing software in 2007. Short, even while I was a student, I think I made some money because I knew that my future was not in agricultural engineering. That was just because I didn't want to waste my time. But we were focused on solving problems. Each and every one of us here have a uniqueness. I'm someone that, unfortunately, I see money as something that is not real. I see money as something that is all about perception. That is the last, I don't rate people by money. I rate people by impact. And that is why the cleaner that helps me clean our room, I see the person as a hero. Because if he doesn't do it, the room is going to be dirty and smelling. So we should be looking at how can our innovations create impact in our society. And trust me, whenever you make an impact, you will always make money. None of our customers can ever threaten us with "I will pull out." Because why would you threaten? You never came because you loved us. You came because you saw something that will give you value. So if you feel that you've seen something better, move. We will improve and then you'll come back. So the point is, as you are working where you are working, or as you are doing what you are doing, know that the next big idea is circling around you. But the first thing is, there's a part of education. I'm someone that advocates so much for education because I have seen how education transforms life. There are a lot of problems that you cannot solve. There are a lot of problems that you cannot solve. And one of the big reasons is you don't have the competence. And whenever you see yourself struggling in life, there is a knowledge gap that you are yet to fill. So of the times, if you check the time of your struggle and the time of your breakthrough, you realize that nothing really happened. It's just knowledge and information. Maybe something I've told you now is something that you will carry on and run. By the time you run, you realize that you make a lot of leap. So that is why in 2020 we had an issue. That was the time we experienced the problem of scale. All of a sudden, everybody wants to use us, right? Our system started crashing. So we didn't understand what they call scaling. We have the horizontal and vertical scaling. So for instance now, the reason why we don't have AC here is actually because of knowledge gap, right? So let me give you a very simple analogy. If you want to guarantee 24 hours electricity in this place, if you go and buy 120 kVA of generator, 1 or maximum 2, and you put it on, right? It can never guarantee 24 hours electricity. But if you have 10 of them, and all the 10 are on at the same time, and you have something like a load balancer, right? What it means is that by the time A is down, it gets to D, you must have fixed the A and B. that is the only way you can guarantee stability, right? So we deployed that method in our system, our issue, because we have to take some courses, right? So when we learned that, we now realized that for you to build a high-end, powerful, high-usage system, horizontal scaling is the future. That's how we changed our architecture, right? So we have to learn. At some point, I have to pay for Reforge. Reforge is an online course, $2,000. You have to pay so that you can learn some other things in terms of some best practices, even around branding, even around engineering, right? I learn, if you look at my library in my house, I have a lot of books. I read and I learn every day because I know that our next phase depends on knowledge. The same thing happens with our team. I remember when we started noticing that engineers, to have top quality, like I always say it, one top quality engineer is better than 200 mid-level engineers. If you are not deeply into engineering, you may really not understand. And the difference is the thinking. When people shift from the nominal way of thinking to the analytical way, right? So we notice that engineers, young guys doesn't want to learn the foundational languages, right? And the older guys are going abroad. We said, you know what? Let's first of all create our own internal framework and then start building some things around familiar languages. We have to study it because we notice that a lot of our big peers does it. So the point is we keep learning. So for you to move from where you are to where you want to be, a lot of knowledge is required. Sometimes when I travel, I try to make sure every 3 months I travel. So the point is, if you stay in Nigeria for so long, it starts changing your reality. So sometimes I try to leave so that I see things done differently. So this January I was in Eindhoven, it's in Netherlands, and that university, if you know about ASML is they call it the world's most important company. They're the one that invented the most advanced method of making chips. So when we talk about AI and some of these things, we forget that there is a hardware that powers the AI. So they are the ones in charge. TSMC, which is the biggest company in Taiwan, is their customer. So I was there, I interacted with a lot of their students, and I saw what they were doing. Every single student there is graduating to start their own company. Every single student is a culture. And guess what? It is their projects that is giving birth to the next company. So the level of innovation in that atmosphere is intimidating. So imagine if you exist in that atmosphere. The next form of, I saw a solar-powered vehicle, right, which is a final year project for some people, and it was already clear. And whenever I'm in these regions, it gives me a feeling like, Enugu is one of the best places you can ever come to. One place I see, if you go to Geneva looks exactly like Enugu, with even the mountains, just like it's cold. Enugu is not cold. If you come to these ecosystems, you just realize that, this is Enugu, right? That is why in as much as I'm from here, I so much love Enugu. Unfortunately, this is our current governor. I'm one of the people that, trust me, I will never tell you. That is why in as much as I'm from here, I so much love Enugu. Unfortunately, now that we're already bringing back the energy, we should also sustain that energy. Not after this conference, everybody goes. How should we? Because, for instance, Gaius is my very, very good friend, right? And maybe we're already creating an ecosystem. It goes. How should we? Because, for instance, Gaius, very brutal, but most of the times, my feedbacks, you may find it useful, not all the time anyway. So, as we are building that our ecosystem, whereby, because we did this in Lagos, I told you, that 2014, every of us, Paystack, Flutterwave, then when they started, they were working from my house then because we were building us, we were more like sharing the same early team. Then they were paid with capture before they transitioned to Flutterwave. We were working together. Shola, most of the time I'm even in his office, even while they were building the early version of Paystack. I will tell him, Shola, add this part will be useful for you, right? Ini, when he was building Andela, we were together. Most of the time we were in CC Hub or in Idea Hub. We will do hackathon, we will do lean startup, we will do this, we will do that. So this is, everybody know us, we are ourselves. One of the days I went to this African Tech Conference in London. Immediately I got into London, I just said, oh boy, everybody don't migrate to. Because you see each and every one of us. So we knew ourselves, right? And we were helping each other. Bosin then was the one doing the tech hub thing. He knows how to communicate with Mark Zuckerberg. Even that time he came and some of these other conversations, right? So everybody has a place that, OO is the ginger guy. He knows how to create the energy, right? Chichek Ezidozie then is also part of us, many of us. And that ecosystem is what helps a lot of the businesses that we talk about today, right? So we need to now create even a much better ecosystem in Enugu. And I so much commend the commissioner for pulling this stunt, because what you did is something really excellent. And the good thing is that we will be more than happy to always support. We are so much happy to support. So pick these things I've said. Let's build solutions that solves our problem. If you come, every idea is important, but some ideas can come first. So I wouldn't say you have a bad idea, but don't come here when you know that there are a lot of basic problems that we could have solved. There's this hotel, Carlton Swiss, right? I guess it's probably one of the best hotels. When we went there, when we wanted to make reservation, the lady brought paper to write down our reservation. I noticed there's something I also noticed. You can't book any hotel in Enugu online, not one. You can't go to their website and book. I don't know if we see these problems. These are problems that we live with. Somebody is building or not even Bitcoin, building another exchange that probably he does not even understand, while there are no hotels that you can book online. I can't even. So these are problems. That's why if we come into an environment, let's learn how to properly observe. So if I probably want to build a technology in Enugu, I will start with, let me even help people, because Enugu is now becoming a very huge tourist attraction. And people from different places, they don't understand why they can't book hotels online. And of course, I don't want to use bookings.com. Can I even help build an infrastructure that helps hotels even make their reservations and everything? This is something that I have seen. By the time I start looking more deeply, I will start seeing more problems. And if you engage with people inside the industries, you can also find out. So these are opportunities that we should start looking into. Trust me, there's an experiment we did. We built a system called Switch App. It's still exclusive now. It's a payment system we built internally. What we solved basically was, imagine having 2,000 schools on Flutterwave, Paystack, and all those big things. It became too complex for us. And then their speed of innovation slowed down. Immediately, Shola sold his company. For them to do one thing, it probably 70 billion, and I'm launching next year. Won't you 70 billion? And I'm launching next year. Won't you give me your money? And I can tell you that this is the test. Like, in the next 2 months, we are going to have at least the next set of 5,000 customers, 5,000 businesses. That one is guaranteed, and we know it. So if you are an investor, if I'm giving you these statistics, won't you find it very useful? Won't you be excited to pursue me? Will I be chasing you with pitch decks? So most of the time, how to pitch is not really about writing pitch decks. Nobody's going to read it. If you hit those points, this is what I'm telling you, is our product. I'm sure some people may have paid via Switch App or used Switch App for something. I'm sure like in the room, a lot of people must have used it. It's still not fully launched. It's still testing. And I'm giving you that data. We launched exams on Educare where we allow children to do practices. We have over 1 million children. At some point, which I just said, you know what? We make money, but there's no point. Sometimes you don't always have to make money. Let's make it free. Let everybody use it. And that became open for everybody. So, if I also want to get investment from it, I'm showing you data set. More than 1 million children, more than 500,000 daily engagement. Won't you invest? And I'm giving you a path, telling you that my target is to get it to 10 million or 50 million within the past days, which is going to, I want to get to Africa, other African countries. I'm also going to get to Europe, which the path is clear. I'm not coming to tell you I have one idea in my head. Can you see the difference? Can you see the difference between that struggle and the solution? So is that knowledge? So that's why it's always good to come very prepared. I don't know if I'm making sense. So if you are building something now, I will strongly advise you, don't chase investment now. Probably what you need is a high-end computer, right? A good computer, and where you can squeeze yourself and then be pressing your computer if you're writing software, right? And then, so what you should be looking for is the money to buy that computer you need, and probably some money to survive. Because if you build out and you test out, you increase your value. We've done it. We are doing it, and we'll always do it again because I've actually, over time, cracked the code. And, in terms of funding, you mustn't always, funding, they have painted the name funding. What we are talking about is money, right? There is not one source for funding. Why we are looking for investors is that nobody is going to chase you with collateral, right? There are so many other funds. I have broken money into 3 phases. We have the liquid, we have the gaseous, and we have the solid. I think I may be rounding up with this one. Do you know that this building is money, right? Do you know that this chair is money? You know, right? Are you sure? Do you know your brain is money? That person that has that issue that needs to conduct surgery, and the doctor is charging you what, $100,000, right? What are you paying for? What are you paying for? So do you know that you can grow so much wealth here that the world cannot quantify? Our sister that is in World Trade Organization, what is her greatest asset? What is her greatest asset? So why do you think you are broke? You are actually not broke. So another way to quickly come out of poverty is what? Increase your. Now, the most frequent one, which people see and they make noise about, is what? The liquid cash, which is the most volatile, the most unreliable, right? Do you know that I can eat, if I come to a restaurant and I don't have money, I can tell you, ma, Biko, and where am I go? I can even make you laugh. And after laughing, you will give me one plate of food. Do you know that there was a transaction, right? But I didn't pay liquid cash. But I paid what? So the point is, this is how you understand things. You may not have money. You need to hire a good engineer. You go and learn how to pitch. You go and meet that engineer. Let's have a deal. I'm going to give you 20% of my business, right? And I have a clear path to future value. You go and somebody is sold in. They work with their heart. So you get much better value by spending what? Nothing. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So we are trying to understand how we can create those companies without dying before we rise. So you mustn't always rely on that thing cash, but you always have to survive, right? Which your mouth can help you survive. What? Pay their money. And we all sat, They were saying what I don't even understand. At the end of the day, they made money, right? So it's really about what? This. And why did he's the MC for one of our events. And he kept chipping it in my head. Come. I didn't even know when I told my team, well, let's go. And he convinced me within like 1 hour, and we dashed him 1 million to come and attend an event, and then we just left. So the point is, also learn how to activate your superpower. So with this now, because it's always good, because sometimes we speak here, we get excited, we go. But the next question is, how do I move from where I am to where I want to be? So that how becomes where most people will drop off. That is why paying attention to some of these things will really be of great help. I will not promise you that after this conference I will be able to talk to everybody all the time, but this little time, it can help start changing your thinking. If I want to meet the governor today, do you know how I will meet him? Let me tell you how I will meet him. I will write a letter, go and send to him, make sure that they minute on it. Trust me, the governor will read it. And if I can be able to articulate my thoughts in just one page, he will read it and respond to me. So I don't need to go through any side corner. If I want to meet Enugu today, that is exactly how I will do it. If you want to meet governor, try what I'm saying now. He will respond to you. So you don't even need anybody to help you, in quotes. Does that make sense? You need to understand how these things work. So most of the time we think, oh, because I want to meet the governor, oh, do I know this one? You waste several months trying to run around people who doesn't even know the governor. I don't know if that makes sense. So this is why knowledge is important. Are we tired? Are we tired? I know, okay. So, this is how I want us. You know, Enugu is so dear to my heart. I want us to move from where we are. At the foundation of any technology in Nigeria, trust me, an Enugu man is behind it. If you check any technology company in Nigeria and you can't find it, tell me, I will show you the Enugu man. Even the money points you make noise about, the main brain behind it is an Enugu man. Either you are from Enugu or you schooled in Enugu, but Enugu must be part of you. At the core of our team, Enugu also is behind it. Enugu is so unique because there's one thing you'll notice you may not know. Enugu people are not loud. Enugu people are very intelligent. They are peaceful, they are calm, and they are very articulate. What many people lack is opportunity. And whenever you see them make a leap, Enugu people always shine. So that is why I'm so confident that the next Dublin, I use Dublin because a lot of big tech companies are there. The next Dublin is in Enugu. I'm so happy and proud to see us get to the highest of our potentials. So when you see Microsoft putting their new head office in Enugu, they are not doing it because of what people say. They are doing it because they have seen. There's something that Tim Cook said. Pay attention to this. If you come to America and you are looking for an advanced machining engineer, you can get just a handful, right? If you go to China, you will see a stadium full of advanced machining engineers. So they are not going to China because they are looking for cheap labor. They are going to China because they can get more talent. People are going to come to Enugu because there are so much concentration of talent in Enugu. So rather than, if you're hiring people in Lagos is prostitution, the worst place to hire people is in Lagos. Sure, you see Lagos. Immediately the person just joined. He's already applying for the new job. What he needs is just that portfolio to be able to advance to the next place. So Lagos, for people hiring, Lagos is not a good place. Our office is in Lagos, this and that, but at the end of the day, we know what we see, right? But of course, you can still get some very good people there, but it's not general. So, but the point is, in Enugu, out of every 10, you may actually get 6 or 7 right? So, with this, as you are thinking about your startup, because we need to solve all problems in Enugu, we don't need to be contracting out, because we need to start creating new money. For you to create new money, you have to solve groundbreaking solutions that have never existed. Let's not keep rotating money, right? Before, 50 years ago, there was never a trillionaire, right? But right now, there are trillionaires. It's because new money were created. When you see advancements in technology, these are new money being unlocked and created, right? So this is how new monies are being created. Because I know that many of us may not really understand how money actually works. So with this, the biggest place and the future is in Enugu. And I know that we'll all be alive to witness Enugu prosper. Thank you.
Can you put your hands together? It was talking about 70 billion, 140 billion. One guy fainted outside. Well, he has woken up when I told him that there is hope. If only he could be focused and hardworking. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO, Educare Group, the voice you just heard, Mr. Alex Onya. I never knew you were the owner of that organization. I'm telling you, I was pricing to buy it. But in the dream, you're doing a good job. Thank you. Thank you. DJ, please get ready to play the jingles of Union Bank. Before then, there is a great surprise for all of us, myself excluded, all the MCs excluded, all the technical crews excluded, but the attendees. 3 tablets to be given before we leave here, free of charge, courtesy of the Honorable Commissioner. Tablet is not paracetamol. You understand what they call tablets? All right. So free, 3 of them, and each of them worth about over 500,000. So someone will go home with a tablet. On that note, if you worship in Mountain of Fire, start prayers now. Let me recognize especially a young man who is doing so well. The diplomatic community has represented Nigeria's special executive director, Queen's Model Secondary School, Chukwuma Ephraim Okenwa, CEO. DJ, are you ready? Let's hear the news from one of the foremost Nigerian banks, Union Bank of Nigeria, PLC. DJ, if you're ready, I am ready.
At Union Bank, we see your hustle, we speak your language. APIs, sandbox, startup capital, digital tools, not someday, but today. From Enugu to the world, we are banking on bold minds. No limits, no red tapes, just possibilities. Union Bank, your bank, goes beyond banking. We stand as your partner for progress. For the minds building tomorrow, let's create it together. To the dreamers, coders, founders, and fixers. To the ones building in the dark, thinking in the cloud, and coding for change. You're not just chasing ideas, you're reshaping Nigeria. At Union Bank, we see your hustle, we speak your language. APIs, sandbox, startup capital, digital tools, not someday, but today. From Enugu to the world, we are banking on bold minds. No limits, no red tapes, just possibilities. Union Bank, your bank, goes beyond banking. We stand as your partner for progress. For the minds building tomorrow, let's create it together.
Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Please appreciate them. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we are going to the second part of the panel session, and this would last for just 25 to 30 minutes. Then we share the tab. And the information reaching me indicates that tomorrow, more tabs will be shared, and they're reserving the laptops as well for tomorrow, because tomorrow is the last day. And believe you me, he who laughs last laughs best. On this note, let me invite a set of intellectuals, young men and a woman, who are piloting their affairs and ruling their world in the world of tech ecosystem. Africa is a nation with about 1.2 billion people, or a continent with about 1.2 billion people. The funny thing is that China population is bigger than the entire Africa. And the gazetted countries in Africa is 54 countries. China is one country with about 1,400,000,000 and something million people. And as at 2 years ago, India superseded China in population. So the population of India is 1.5 billion people. Yet, China is doing well, India is doing well. But India is reputable for drugs and so many other scientific equipment production, while China is the emerging leader of tech in the world. If you believe in the world of tech, you cue into what is happening today, because one meeting will change your life forever. On that note, let me invite the CEO of Onyije Motors, the CEO of East Side Ventures, the CEO of Voice of the East Television, Bitcoin Chief, Gaius Chibweze. Please appreciate him. Eyes. You can see his beards. He doesn't shave it like a Yahoo guy. That means he controls tech to make money. Thank you for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, let me invite the next speaker. He is doing well, but he's not a loud person. Join me to make welcome Mr. Patrick Asuma. You can clap again to ginger him. Thank you. Now, because of the fact that the commissioner is very sensitive with gender balance, we have to balance it with a lady to maintain gender equality. Ladies and gentlemen, she's intelligent, she's hardworking, She is a silent millionaire. Blessing Ebere. Ladies, you can appreciate her again. You can feel her catwalk. Thank you. Making the announcements, the man who wants to share the free 3 tabs walked in. And that is the man that makes things happen here today. The Honorable Commissioner. Please appreciate him again. You can see that the commissioner is always attending events with his wife. What does that tell you? He doesn't cheat on his wife. Thank you, sir, for that. And that reminds me, when your wife is beautiful and intelligent, you don't have any reason to cheat on her. The only thing is that if you're a man that has so much emotional inclination, you always call her, "Where are you?" Once again, on a hold up, you say, "What is holding the hold up?" Ladies and gentlemen, the panel session will be moderated by a brilliant, intelligent young girl from the South. Because of the fact that she is from Bayelsa, she could swim from here to Port Harcourt with her boarding vehicle. She is the head of Social Impact Salad African Group. Join me to make welcome Lady K. She has to be 4. Please appreciate her once again. She'll be moderating this session. After that, we share the tab for the lucky winners. Thank you. My name is Monde Diamond. Odozi Obodo.
Hello. Yeah, please. Thank you. Please clap. Thank you. It's so great to be here. So I'm actually a young woman. I'm 33 years old, not 24. But I'll take it. It's good to be younger, okay? I'm very happy to be here. This is my first time in Enugu, but I hope it won't be my last. Am I right? Period, okay? So I have some fantastic speakers here, but I will allow them to introduce themselves. We all came from Lagos, so Alex, I peeped that shade. I just want to say that some of us stick to our jobs, okay? So not all of us bounce around. So I just want to check that real quick, okay? So I'll allow my speakers to just briefly talk about what they do, and then we're going to get right into the conversation. So I'll start with you, Patrick.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much, the Commissioner, for actually inviting me to this epic event in the Southeast. I believe that we are about to change our red soil to gold mines in this place. My name is Patrick Aswama. I am the Agric Finance Manager for Africa for Capital Crown Holdings. Capital Crown Holdings is a UK-based company that is basically providing foreign direct investment to different African countries. And we are basically majoring on agri-tech, health tech, fintech, and also blockchain technology as well. And beside that, we also partner with a lot of governments within Africa to provide them with investments for capital-intensive projects and also for infrastructure as well. And beside that, I'm also a tech evangelist who believes in driving innovation with technology across different industries, from the health tech to the fintech to auto tech and the likes. And beside that, I'm a co-founder of 2 startup companies. We are yet to fully launch because I believe that if you need to speak to an investor, first of all, you need to get traction for whatever you're doing. And I'm really happy to be here. And I believe that this also will not be my last time here. I look forward to really investing more in the Enugu tech ecosystem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gaius Chibueze. Before I start introducing myself, I want us to give the Honorable Commissioner a wonderful hand of applause again. I want us to clap for him. This has never been done in the history of Enugu State. I'm so proud of you, sir. Thank you so much for bringing this initiative. This is something that I personally think Enugu State deserves, and I will encourage other states in the Southeast to meet you and see how they can replicate this across the states. So my name is Gaius Chibueze, a.k.a. Bitcoin Chief, a.k.a. Akoma Diego, a.k.a. Akoma Nedozi Obodo. Many people know me as an Igbo First promoter. I also happen to be the founder of Eastside Ventures. Eastside Ventures is a holding company with diversified interests in agriculture. We own Ohaneze Farm, which is the largest fenced livestock ranch in the whole of Southeast. It's here in Isuzu local government. We also own Voice of the East. Voice of the East is the biggest Igbo media platform in the world for only Igbo people. We also own Oyije Motors. How many of you here came with Oyije Motors? So we also own Oyije Motors. We saw a need in the transport sector and we said, how can we bring comfort and affordability into transportation in the Southeast? So that was how we invented Oyije Motors. We also own a couple of other companies like the Kedu app and a couple of other things that many of you already know I do. So I happen to also be the promoter of what I call Make Ali Igbo Great Again, MAIGA. I'm a student of M.I. Okpara, and I believe that only Ndi Igbo can lead the change to develop Ali Igbo. So I'm very, very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Gaius. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm stunned. My name is Blessing Ebere Ashu. I am sitting here wearing two caps. I'm the Finance Director for Innovation Support Network, which is a network of 200 hubs and innovators in Nigeria. And I'm the MD of 360 Creative Innovation Hub. I play at the intersection of creativity, fashion, and innovation. So that is who I am.
Thank you. Okay, so this panel session is going to be about how government and startups or entrepreneurs can work together to ensure that we're putting out the right policies that support business growth, that support scaling, and even supports expansion, not just in your state, but across the country and eventually across the continent. So my panelists here are educated, they're knowledgeable, and they're going to help us understand how we can work with the government and not see them as enemies, but as allies. It's very important that we see the government as allies, okay? So I'm going to start with Chief Gaius. And my first question for you, Chief Gaius, is what do you think entrepreneurs can do to take strategic risks, right? Because starting a business is a risk, but you have to be strategic about it.
So one of the first things entrepreneurs need to do is to get proper information on whatever it is that they want to take a risk on. Many of you here know me as the Bitcoin Chief. In 2011, a guy on Facebook had told me about Bitcoin. Guess how much was the price of Bitcoin then? Just $35. So when he told me about it, I did some research. I took a step further to read more about it. I watched a couple of other YouTube videos, and I made an informed decision to take the risk. It's become very cool now for anybody to buy Bitcoin, but as at then, it would be a risk because it was an emerging technology. So one thing that has helped me as a person in taking risk is first educating myself on what I am taking a risk on. I have also invested in a couple of startups here in the Southeast. Many of you know Mame Foods, which is a spice, a company that makes food spice. Last year I invested in them, and one of the first things I did when the CEO, Bren Okole, was talking to me about investing in them was to research how big the FMCG market is. So before you take any risk, you must educate yourself. Make your research about that particular industry that you are about to take risk. Many people today, when they hear the word Bitcoin, they are scared because we all know one or two persons that have lost money from Bitcoin. But the truth is, people like myself, I've always told people, don't invest what you cannot afford to lose. And then when you invest, you should also look at it as a long-term investment. So these were some of those knowledge and information that I had to get before venturing into this. And that is one of the things that will differentiate the entrepreneur who will take a risk and succeed and the one who will take a risk and not succeed. But also, you also need to understand that in risk-taking, there is an element of what I call 50-50. That's why it's called risk. Some risks you are going to take is going to work. Some risk you're going to take will not work. So I think that's one thing an entrepreneur needs to know before they take risk. Knowledge of what they want to take risk on.
Fantastic response. Can we please clap for that, please? Thank you. Before I move on to Ms. Ebere, can we celebrate the students in the room, please? Can we clap for them? Yeah, start them young. Well done. Thank you for being here. Okay, so Ms. Ebere, can you talk about your experience with working with the government, whether it's going for a grant or helping them, plan or train a group of entrepreneurs in your network? What was that experience like, and what would you say about how you felt at the end of it?
Hello. So, first of all, people are scared of working with the government. But one of the things I've learned, I'm coming from Lagos State government perspective. Please don't crucify me. I'm an Igbo person, but I've worked with Lagos State government. And one of the things that I've learned from them is that they are an enabler. So Lagos State government enables you. Instead of them being like a regulator coming to say, do this, do that, they will say, okay, what can we do for you to be able to do A, B, C, and D? So those questions makes me comfortable to say, okay, this person is not just coming to ask me to pay my tax, ask me to do A, B, C, and D. The person wants me to grow. And when I now want to bring in my A game, and I say, okay, I can help you do A, B, C, and D, because you need to understand what the government wants to do. And most times, the government wants to create impact. The government wants to make sure that their state is okay. The government wants to make sure that people are earning money. The government wants to make sure that people are rich and not poor. So you need to find out, okay, what it is that I am doing that will help this person tell their success story better. Whose KPI do you want to meet? And when I sat down with Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, I told them that I have the knowledge to help you galvanize the creative sector. They listened and they said, okay, tell us A, B, C, and D. And I told them, and now we can say, okay, when you come to Lagos, you see so many Lagos designers are hearing. It's from one person that is in my network that started that campaign, 30 December. And the government is keying into it. Yeah. So it's all about providing an enabling environment. And when you provide that enablement, and you as a startup, don't be, oh, I don't want government. No. Be open-minded and be able to say, okay, I will be able to do A, B, C, and D. Go with value, go with impact, go with open-minded, and ask questions if need be. Then the two of you can do like a marriage that will bring growth.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that, please. Thank you, guys. Yeah. So I want to ask Patrick a question about the unique challenges that he's seen in Enugu's tech and innovation sector. But I want to talk about something that Alex mentioned, that you can't book a hotel room online. So this is the maiden edition of Enugu Tech Fest, right? May 8th. So from May 8th, 2025 to May 8th, 2026, I'm hoping that a couple of people in here can develop solutions for hotels. Yes? Is that possible? Yes? Yeah? Is that possible? Okay, great. Now, I'm a woman. I'm very biased about women, so I'm hoping that a couple of women founders are in the room who will be willing to take on that challenge. Yes? Yes? Okay, fantastic. So I'll be back here next year, and I want to see you guys pitch to me. Okay? All right. So, Patrick, you can answer my question.
Okay, thank you very much. One of the biggest challenge I've seen within the Enugu Tech ecosystem is basically structured innovative pipeline, and I'll break that down. First, they don't have access to funding. And the reason why they don't have access to funding is because the angel investors, does not really believe in maybe the idea or the concept note and stuff like that. And also, maybe also the government part of it as well needs to also brush up so that they can have access to funding in terms of, startup grants, providing soft loan and the likes with just minimal credit facility requirements, unlike the commercial banks and the microfinance banks will be asking you. The other thing is poor policy. Government needs to implement policy that, enable businesses to thrive, like the startup businesses in the state to thrive, just like what she said. So government needs to create that enabling environment so that policies can be enacted, that businesses that are from this part of, the state or from this part of the region can thrive. Then, lastly is the access to global network. If you have a product and you don't have access to global network, you are as good as nothing. So government need to do that. Then along that line, we have also the insufficient incubators or accelerators that are tailored to specific industries. Unlike the fintech is so rampant, but people in the creative industry, the government need to develop like a creative tech hub, for them, where they'll get mentoring, they'll be trained, they work with them side by side. And I tell people that when you come to a particular environment, you don't really need a venture capital. You need a venture studio, and that is what we need most in this part of the world. We need a venture studio in which someone like an investor like a Bitcoin chief, can invest in your business and work alongside with you, guiding you on what you need to do. Because why? He is involving his money and also his expertise into it. So such businesses cannot fail. And it's easy for you to even scale because he already has a network. So we need to build more venture studios here. And the government needs to start tailoring incubators, hubs that are tailored to the current realities that we are facing. So that everything is not fintech. We have the agri-tech, we have the health tech. Build programs, accelerator programs that are tailored to those particular, problems and that addresses the pain points in those sectors. So that's the way I feel that government needs to actually get involved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Can we clap for him, please? And do we all agree that the Enugu government has a lot of work to do? Yes? Can we agree? There's a lot of things that it needs to support the entrepreneurs in Enugu, right? Can we agree on that? Yes? Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so I want to go back to Chief Gaius, and my question for him is around branding. So, Chief Gaius, can you wave that fan again, please? So he has embroidered on his fan, Bitcoin Chief. That's what we call branding, okay? I'm wearing a shirt with my company's name. Well, not my company, the company I work for. The name is on there, okay? So that's branding. Ms. Ebere is wearing an outfit that was actually put together by one of the fashion entrepreneurs in our network, yes? Okay, that's branding, okay? Representation, right? So Chief Gaius, in your own experience and opinion, how important is personal branding to entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs who are ready to raise money and to put their business out there?
First off, before I answer that question, I believe everybody understands what she's talking about, branding. Okay. I'll give an example. When I walked in this place, a lot of persons already knew who I was. But I want to just make an example. How many of you here were actually expecting to see me on suit? Was anybody here expecting to see me on suit as I came in here?
You can be honest.
Be very honest. Okay, why were you not expecting to see me on suit? You see, so that is actually branding. My name is Bitcoin Chief. So I'll give you a little background about how I came up with that name. So, like 9 years ago, I was in a WhatsApp group with a couple of friends. And as at that time, Bitcoin was just still coming up. And I told them in that group, I had 3 friends there, Jennifer and Bitcoin Goddess. Many of you who follow me online know these people I'm talking about. And I told them in that WhatsApp group, I said, 5 years from now, I want, when anybody talks about Bitcoin in Africa, I want my picture to come up. When they search about anything Bitcoin related in Africa, I want my picture to come up. You can just, for just a test, you can go on Google now and Google Gaius Chibueze. You will see something that links you back to Bitcoin about me. You can Google first African to buy Bitcoin. You will see my picture. Now, anywhere I go, many of you follow me online and you watch my videos. Before I start the video, I will say, my name is Gaius Chibueze, aka Bitcoin Chief, and I am the known first African to buy Bitcoin since 2011.
Clock that.
Now, you need to understand something. That was strategic, that was deliberate. The reason why I always say this before I say anything anywhere I am is because that is what I want to be known for. Many of you probably have used, especially if you're based here in Enugu, you have probably used 1 or 2 products or companies that are under my holding company, Eastside Ventures. But you probably don't know that I founded those companies. Why? Because for this last 10 years, I have tried to keep my brand around the Bitcoin Chief brand. So branding is very important. In today's world, your personal brand would open doors that no introduction will open. I am from Enugu State here. I am from Obegu here in Enugu State. Just to inspire a couple of you. 13 years ago in this Enugu State, I used to sell okpa in somewhere called Oriemene here. How many of you know Oriemene? I used to sell okpa there with my auntie. I used to live with my father's elder sister there, and we used to go sell okpa. But because I have deliberately for the last 9 years built the Bitcoin Chief brand, today anywhere they are mentioning Bitcoin around Africa, my picture will come up. My name will come up in that conversation. Why? Because I have deliberately built a brand. I have invested in a couple of other things that has also leveraged that name, Bitcoin Chief. So one thing I want to tell everyone that is sitting down here today is that you are the brand. You are a brand. You can create a very strong name for yourself. Many of you know the name AY. Once comedy is mentioned in Nigeria, you know Basket Mouth, you know AY. Why? Because they build a brand around what they do. People pay me as much as $10,000 to promote any crypto-related products. But guess what? Nothing has actually changed from 13 years ago when I used to sell okpa with wheelbarrow in Oriemene. What has just changed is that I have decided to change how people see me and how they perceive me. You all will agree with me that if I was still selling okpa here in this Oriemene, definitely I will not be invited here today.
Wait, but...
That is the power of personal branding. So, personal branding is very, very important. Federal branding actually, it controls how people see you. That's why there are certain places you will not see me. That's why there are certain conversations you will not see me. That's why there are certain topics you will not hear me discuss. So as I came in here now, you already knew. If they had announced me that I was going to be here, you already knew that you were going to see me with a red cap and my hand fan. So this is all part of my personal branding components. So today, before you leave here, ask yourself, what is that one industry? What is that one thing that you can be known for? You can decide to even take even Okpa or anything and become the star in that niche. So one thing that personal branding does for you is that it makes you become the star in your niche. So be very deliberate about how you are building your personal brand, how people see you, how you carry yourself. I asked the question, if I was coming in here and I was dressed on a suit and tie, many people will say, this Bitcoin chief said, you sure say not chief? But the way I entered here now, everybody knew it's Bitcoin chief, and this is how Bitcoin chief is going to look. So,
thank you very much. That's a fantastic response. Yeah, that's why he was asked the question. Okay, so I've got 2 more questions from my guests, and then we can take 2 questions from the audience.
It's going to look. So,
thank you very much. That's a fantastic response. Yeah, that's why.
Okay, so a little bit background about myself. Okay, I was in technology for 10 years. So don't get it wrong when they say I am in the creative space. So and people will ask, why did you leave tech for creative? I was in Germany for a pilot, a tech event, a pilot pitch competition. And I wore in a clothes made by my designer. And in that event, prior to that event, right, we did 7 tours of European nations where we got to see different things that is changing. You know, we go to a place, we pitch to investors and all that because we are building products. And in one of those tours, I saw a young lady that pitched that she can make you look on a mirror and wear a cloth for you, and you will see how that clothes fits on you in Japan. And that did like a think in my head. I said, wow, okay. And I was wearing a Nigerian, in all this thing, I was, Oyibo people, they wear the black, everything. I was wearing a Nigerian, every of my wears was Nigerian made, Africans, and all of them, they were saying, how did you make it? What and what and what? And when I came back, after seeing that technology around creativeness and everything, I'm visiting some hubs abroad. I came back and said, okay, you know what? I want to switch from tech to creative sector. Because I understand that most people in Nigeria, when you say you are a fashion designer, it's because you've not gone to school. But before you practice fashion abroad, you must be a graduate. This is a 2 different narrative. And this is why scaling fashion business was easier. But for now in Nigeria, you cannot scale a fashion business. As I speak here, I'm the only creative hub in Nigeria that has got investments. I don't know. So the challenges, when I say challenges, I don't see challenge, I see it as an opportunity. Is that most times, because I'm playing with creative sectors, let me speak in language, and those kind of stuff. But you know one thing I've come to realize is, you don't say somebody in the bigger GDP of some countries in Europe are built on fashion. You are hearing what is happening with the Louis Vuitton and the likes of them. Where are they getting and how are they making money? Interdex, that is Zara and everything, is one of the biggest unicorn that we have, and it's fashion. And Nigeria, being the hub of creativity, cannot account to 0.011% of what is happening in the global space. So now, when I see those things, it's a challenge because we don't have structure, everybody's doing as they like, and I saw it, I said, okay, let me come and do the bits I can. I can't solve all the problems, but I can as well do something. And I brought my tech knowledge into fashion, so now I can tell you ChatGPT can help you create a design, create audience, do a lot of, I can do a 3D modeling for you. I can do digital illustration. You can scale you can pitch to investors. Thank you. You can actually pitch to investors as a fashion designer and you can get money, live and direct, if you know what you are doing. I have helped people go to abroad and they got money. So why not you? So as a mother, it wasn't an easy journey, but one of the things I've learned to do is that I'm a UNN graduate, and when we are in Nsukka, we hustle it, right? And that hustling spirit made me to know that it's not going to be easy. And remember, I have a mother. One of the most important things that have guided me is that I have a very strong mother. My mother is the type that will say, "Nne, so you can do it." It was a struggle because I was juggling. When I started, I was juggling my full-time job, my business, and my home. And I was learning. But I was able to navigate because I have support system. I have my sister, I have my mother, I have all those things. And the good part about a woman is that, there's a place you go when you laugh. They say, "Okay, madam, sit down." But there is a place we go. In fact, even in investment, even as I speak to you now, I'm not giving a seat on the table because I'm a woman. And when I go to talk to people, they say, "Is it not how to sew clothes?" I have to tell them it's not just about how to sew clothes. Telling the story, the narrative of Nigerian fashion started with some people. Who is telling Enugu's fashion story? Who is the content creator? Who is the merchandiser that we have here? Who is the virtual merchandiser that you can stay in your room and create pictures for different people? Do we have photographers that can sit down and use their phone to create wonderful narrative? So we need to understand that there's a lot that we need. And if you don't tell those stories, other people will tell it for you. I am telling the Lagos story because Lagos provided an enabling environment. This is an eye-opener for Enugu State Indigene. And by the way, I'm working with Genesis Hub in Enugu to introduce DICE. DICE is technology and creative sector training. We are going, if you've not signed up, I think they have somewhere you can sign up. So I'm going to be coming to Enugu more often so that we can train young people on how to use technology to play in the creative sector.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Evere. She's giving you guys a charge. So all the journalists, the content creators who know how to use TikTok, it's time for you to step out and talk about what is happening here. One of the MCs had on a fantastic suit, Faith Victor, and I was telling her that she was mirroring the Met Gala theme from 2 nights ago, and it was about black dandyism and tailoring. So you guys actually have it here, so please use it. Okay, so finally for you, I don't know what's going on with that sound. Okay, so my final question to you, Patrick, is what would you say is preventing Nigerian entrepreneurs from entering and engaging in other sectors outside of fintech, which is very popular, such as agri-tech and edutech?
Okay, so basically I would say it's a perception problem. Those sectors are not, and I will use the word non-sexy. Yeah, once you tell somebody you're into fintech, there's a way they perceive you. There's this character that is based on you. Then at the same time, others feel that those other sectors are slow growth compared to the fintechs, But one thing they don't understand is those other sectors have more blue ocean opportunities than even the fintechs. I'm telling you the truth. And another thing is we need to demystify those other sectors like agri-tech. The government of Enugu is trying to grow their economy from $4.4 billion to $30 billion. And I tell you that if they can technology into agriculture, they will number faster. Because before you do anything, you must eat. you can't take away that equation. Before you do anything, you are a content creator, you are a fintech director, whatever you are, you must eat. And the market is there when it comes to agriculture. And the value chain is enormous. From processing, from production to processing to finance to distribution. You might necessarily not be a farmer, but you can play one of the value chain, moving the farm produce from the farm, to where they need it, or storage. So when you look at the value chain in agri-tech, it is enormous. So how do you plug in technology to ensure that, okay, these potential are fully harnessed? Imagine Enugu becoming the agri-tech unit hub of the entire Southeast. Supplying maybe rice, cassava to Enugu, to other parts of the Southeast. So they need to demystify those other sectors. The beam light is more on fintech. Fintech, everybody that is building want to go into fintech. But look at agri-tech, look at edu-tech, look at healthcare tech. These are blue ocean opportunities that once you're able to crack the code in those sectors, you become a unicorn. Just understand the pain points that people are currently going through. Okay, take an example of a rural farmer. What is their pain point? Like Alex was saying, you have to do your research. Understand the pain points that these people are actually facing. Then that way you can say, okay, I want to be different. I want to be the Mark of Agric, or I want to be the Elon Musk of healthcare, or I want to be the maybe Bitcoin chief of the education tech space. So that sector needs to be demystified. Then another thing is people need to tell their story. The fintech, they do a lot of PR. When a fintech company do a round and they raise money, everywhere on the social media carries it. So if you are in such other sector, also tell your own story. And also people need to promote, content creators need to promote, the story of other sectors. Maybe you are in agri-tech. There's a agri company that is into tractor rental, in which if you want to rent a tractor, you just go online. They are here in Nigeria, and really they are doing a lot. So if you are in the healthcare sector, tell your own story as well, your success story more. That way people will be drawn to it. People are drawn to things that work. If people feel that agri-tech is not working, they will not want to go there. If they feel that health-tech is not working, they will not want to go there. So they will always be drawn to what works. So I feel that we need to demystify the other sector. That way, we know that we're actually hitting the target at the exact point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. So before I close out this panel, I just want to know if anyone in the audience has questions for my... Okay, so I will first call on the lady with the afro in the black dress, and yes, sir, you in the blue shirt. I guess you can come. I can give you my mic. I don't know if somebody there has a microphone for you, but you can come here. Faith, does somebody have a mic? Okay, so you can come. I'll give you my mic. Okay, so I've already selected... Okay, my name is Lady, not... But I heard you, though. It's okay. Okay, all right, fantastic. So you have a mic. We only have time for 2 questions. Apologies, sincere apologies.
Okay, my name is Obes Luchenna. I am here with my team. We are working on a startup we call Peer Flow that connects people that are learning online and those that are willing to help them, and the people that are willing to also provide a space where they can stay to learn our work. So my question goes to the chief, the Bitcoin chief, because I have this fear about, I don't know what to call his fortune about buying Bitcoin when it cost less. This time around, there are many opportunities that present itself. People say, like we have CBEX now. People invest at the end of the day. They have their money where, they intend to, there was a kind of losing their money. Now I want to know what is advice to us now, maybe investing in a new technology, new idea, or new opportunities that may sound very good, but at the end of the day, it might be a fraud or something that will make us to lose our money. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I think that's a good question.
Very good question.
Almost everyone here. I always tell people there are 3 industries that you can never get wrong in Nigeria. One of it is food, because people will always eat. The other one is entertainment, which has to do with a lot of things. You know what entertainment entails. People will always... Last year, Lagos State alone, actually, not just the December, what do they call it? The boyfriend and girlfriend industry. I don't want to call it the real name, but you know the real name. The boyfriend and girlfriend industry in Lagos last year alone transacted over 650 billion naira. That is the second industry. The third industry is the investment industry. The average Nigerian is always looking for how to double his money. That's why you see anything that in 2011. I will still go to my first answer again, which is study first and understand what you're getting yourself into. Because one of the problems that we see today is people not understanding what they are investing in. Don't forget, before buying Bitcoin, I had bought something before called e-gold that never worked out. A couple of you here who have been on the internet long enough, you know what they call e-gold back then. It was a kind of digital currency before Bitcoin. So, know what you are investing into. And then you need to, if you have to consult a financial advisor, like in the United States, where I stay 50% of the time, they always say, consult your financial advisor. So, you have to consult, but now you can just research. Research about what it is that you want to put your money. And I always tell entrepreneurs, if you are building a startup, focus on your startup. Your big break can actually come from your startup. Sometimes you lost money by wanting to take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. So the first thing is to research first about what you are investing in and get a proper knowledge of it before you put your money. So I think that is just the answer.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope that answered your question, sir. Yes, thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Oragu Nkemakonam, and I'm an SEO content marketer. My question is, the essence of this entire event is to empower people, right? Not just people that have a platform, but people that don't have a platform to direct them on the path to walk. So the thing is, my question is going to go in 2 directions. It's about pitching. First, you wake up, you have an idea, right? But you know nobody. Maybe I'm selling out back, new market as well. And you don't know anybody. But this idea is an idea that you believe in. You've thought about it, you've come up with, you've thought about the problems and you've gotten solutions to the problems and everything, and this idea seems very solid to your head. But to execute it, you need to pitch that idea to someone who you feel can invest in it. And you know that when you're looking for an investor, especially for someone with a young, inexperienced eye, you need somebody that's going to offer more than money, but also their experience too. So guide you in the direction that you're meant to go, or help you to not make some mistakes that people that don't know what they are doing would make. Now, as someone that doesn't know anybody, when you wake up with that, your great idea, how do you go about it? I want to talk to the government. You cannot walk into government house and tell them about your idea. Or there are people I see here that I perceive to be investors. I can't walk up to them and just ask them to, okay, leave everything you're doing, let me talk to you about my idea and all of that, because they are probably not going to listen to you. They have a lot of things to do. They have a lot of people trying to talk to them as well. So as someone who doesn't know anybody to open the doors for them, what do you do? That's the first part of my question. And then the second part of my question is this. I know that there are people that have ideas, especially ideas that you perceive to be very strong ideas, like ideas that will very likely work. You have an idea that nobody is doing in the world, and you don't understand how nobody is doing that, and you know that this idea is going to fly. okay? And you want somebody to invest in that idea. You know, there can be this fear that this person I'm going to tell my idea, give them the roadmap and show them how I want to accomplish it, has the means to accomplish this idea without me. So you go to tell them about this idea. Is there a process that protects you and your idea such that these people that you know have more means than you?
Yeah, okay. So wait, are you done with your question?
Such that these people that you know have more means than you.
So I hear a lot of, what if they don't? Can I just walk up? Do you know the people that you want to pitch to? You know them. Have you actually attempted and they didn't respond to you? Or is this a case of my perception is that if I do pitch to them, they're not going to read the email? You've tried and you've been met with nothing, right? Okay, so in a situation like that where, yes, this is what is true about a lot of investors, whether they're angels or they work with a VC firm. They get a lot of emails, they get a lot of people wanting to pitch to them. Yes, I understand that. I would say that there's multiple ways that you can deal with this. First of all, your best bet is to get into a pitch contest. That already puts you front and center in front of at least 5 investors. Out of those 5 investors, at least one person would be interested in having a follow-up conversation with you. Whether that's an in-person pitch contest or you find one online. This is true about a lot of tech conferences. I've hosted a couple in the past 8 years. They always have a pitch contest. They always do. And a lot of these conferences target women. They want more women to pitch, okay? So it's up to you to do that research and say, okay, I need to find 6 events this year, right? And usually when it's event season, they start to announce it at least 3 to 4 months before the actual conference. You find them, you make a list of them, and you find out which ones have contests, and you submit your deck and everything. Before you actually do that, you have to make sure that you actually have the information they are looking for. So you want to find someone within your immediate network that can review your pitch deck, okay? So the person doesn't need to be an investor. The person doesn't even need to work for a VC firm. Just someone who has some experience working in tech who can go through your pitch deck. If you can't find anyone, use ChatGPT. I'm telling you, ChatGPT is my best friend. Like, go in there and be like, what are the issues with my deck, and can you recommend some changes? And then you humanize it, because one thing investors know is if you've used AI to write your deck, right? So you do that, you make sure you have everything that you need, and then you pitch yourself. The truth about the tech ecosystem is that there are no handouts, and there's an attitude of, I don't owe you anything, which is true. So you have to be the one to be aggressive about putting yourself out there. Now, I'm going to speak to you as a woman. Culturally speaking, we haven't really been raised to be aggressive, so I would advise you to tap into your masculine side and come in with the audacity of a Nigerian man. That's how I go into work, like with the audacity of a Nigerian man. I'm like, seriously, my first job in the industry was at Flutterwave. I know what I'm talking about. You need to go in there with the confidence of, I am a Nigerian man, right? And I am here to pitch, right? One thing I know in my own experience working in tech is that the male founders, the male co-founders, they don't have any issues with confidence. They speak and they say, I can do this. You have to go in there with that same attitude. If you need to stand in front of the mirror and be like, girl, you've got this, go out on that stage and pitch and do a great job, you do it, okay? And it will open doors. Sometimes investors just like that confidence. Like, I like the way she speaks. She's the kind of person that I feel like, girl, you've got this. Go out on that stage and pitch and do a great job. You do it, okay? Industry you're interested in, right? Chief Gaio said that, right? You research, you find your niche, and you start talking about it. Go on LinkedIn, make a lot of me. I'm a chief noise maker. If you go on my LinkedIn, Lady K, I don't play about making noise. I make noise. Talk about your sector. Talk about what you know. Use the hashtags. Find research about the industry you're interested in. Find research about the competitors that are in your space. Tag them. In 2005, this startup raised $10 million. Is this possible in Nigeria? That gives you visibility. That makes you knowledgeable in what you know. And then that automatically puts you in sort of like in the eye line of the people that you actually want to invest in you. But I would also say, be bold enough to approach an investor and be like, I feel like you should fund my business. Already you have their attention. Again, audacity. You need that as a founder. You need that as an entrepreneur because startups have a high failure rate. So investors want to know, if I put money in your business, are you going to bring it back to me? Right? If you don't believe that, they can smell it. They know that, okay, this person have a high failure rate. So investors want to know, if I put money in your business, pitch deck first, so don't embarrass me because don't send, hello. So I'm going to pitch to you. So review that pitch deck first, so don't embarrass me because don't send.
Accelerator in Barcelona or expense paid. Girl, I did not spend my ₦1. They paid me to come. I'm the only person, two of us in Nigeria that was selected by Institut Français to go to France and study the creative ecosystem. From the airport, Nanimozi carry me. So let me tell you, and how did I do that? I did not do that by sitting down and whining. My father does not have money. But you know what? On LinkedIn, I did post. The people that need to know about me are hearing about me. No, you need to make noise in selected sector. It's not so everybody does not need to know me. Okay? But for people that need to know you and are playing in those sectors that you need to know, you need to know your competitor. That idea that you just said you have, I want to give you a shocker. You see, as that idea is braining in your head, 10,000 others are happening around the world, the same. The difference between you and the person that did not do is the execution. And you don't need to wait to pitch to an investor to start doing something. Gamble on yourself. Start investing your own resources. What do you have? Family, friends. How many of them can, if you don't have your family or your friends that can gamble on you, my dear, I know investor will give you money. I'm just telling you the truth. So if your friends believe so much or your family believes so much in that thing that you are doing, talk to one of two. Even though they don't have money, they will say, okay, I will support you with A. I will do this, I will do that, I will do that. You know the greatest thing that people don't know is your net worth. Your network. I don't have money. No, truth be told, I don't have money. But you know why I'm sitting here? I can call two people and say, please, I'm in a mess. Can you lend me this? And I will get that. So please, one, let the people that are in those sectors that you know about you and make noise.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just, yes. So the second part of our question, because they're giving us a time check, right?
Okay. Let me just respond to the second part of our question.
So please,
if you take that idea and execute it, I know that, okay, I brought this idea to you. I have something to hold you onto. So you have friends that are lawyers. Even these things are even online. Go to ChatGPT. Just type, give ChatGPT the instruction, design a non-disclosure agreement with me on this, and under 2 seconds, you have multiple documents. So that is what you need to do to protect yourself, first and foremost. Because if you don't do that, you imagine pitching an idea that you know it's in the next 2-3 years it's going to become a unicorn to someone that has more resources than you. What I mean resources, he has money, he has the network, he has the people to just float this idea. Imagine doing such a thing. The person will just say, oh, thank you very much, and that's all. You'll never hear from them. I'll give you a very, very clear scenario. What happened to us about 2-3 years ago. I'm not going to mention the name of the company for some reason. Okay, so we approached these guys. We were trying to build a solution to reduce, the time people spend when they go to supermarkets to purchase an item, So we went to this regulator and we pitched the idea to them. It was so nice. They said, okay, we want a partnership with you people. We were very nervous that time. We were very naive rather. So we pitched to them. The CEO, everybody was there. They liked the idea. They called their engineers. They were all there. They said, okay, we'll get back to you guys, sign a partnership, and we move. In 6 months' time, those guys floated the product. In 6 months' time. We just saw the product everywhere. So that particular scenario taught us a very big lesson. That if you are going to an investor that you know has more resources than you, you need to harm yourself properly. An agreement, non-disclosure agreement, non-circumvention agreement, it will protect you. It might look very simple, but that document can save you tons of millions in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. And thank you. Yes, that was a good response. NDAs. We'll close out with Chief Gaius.
Okay, there is something I want to tell you. I love what every of the panelists has told you, which is very important. So one of the ways, as they said, to contact investors about your idea is go on ChatGPT. Put the industry that you're in and just ask it to give you a list of companies that invest in similar ideas. And it will fetch you all that list. I personally still do that. You understand? Even just yesterday, there's an industry I'm working on now. I said, give me list of companies with similar ideas and investors that have invested. It fetches me all that list. So email as many as you want. And then I always tell entrepreneurs that you must behave like the woman with the issue of blood. How many of you know the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible? So if you are an entrepreneur looking for funding, it's not the time for waiting. I have gone to an event before, and somebody pitched me from that event, and I liked the idea. I said, let's talk more about it. I gave the person my card, and then the person contacted me later, and that was how we proceeded until I made the first seed investment in that investment. So you must be ready to act like the woman with the issue of blood. If she had not risen up and touched Jesus' garment, if she was waiting back because she's feeling that, I don't want Jesus to be angry, she would definitely never be healed. And her story will not make round all over the world the way her story is making round. So you must be aggressive as an entrepreneur. So you must reach out to as many funders that you can. And also, in this part of the world, I understand that it's very, very hard to get investment. So by God's grace, I'm going to, there is something similar I want to pitch to the Honorable Commissioner, because our people need funding. Many of you here know I've invested in a couple of startups here in the Southeast. Some of them, I gave them as much as $100,000 because I believe that there are great ideas here in this Enugu. So by God's grace, as someone who has worked on over 1,000 ideas, there's no idea that you are going to have today that doesn't exist anywhere. Everything you want to think about today. There was a time I had this crazy idea. You know those kind of ideas that you cannot sleep. In fact, you will wake up and go right. 3 a.m., 4 a.m., you're waking up to go right because the idea is coming, is coming, is coming. So I was working on that idea for like 3 months. I said, God, finally there is a solution. More like finding the solution to death. That was how I felt. Then something happened. Now, I just went on Google one day and I explained that my idea. I said, companies doing something similar. And there were companies doing there is nothing you want to, even the Bible said, it said there's nothing new under the sun. Remember that as God is putting that idea in your head, He's putting it in 1,000 other people's head. My co-panelist here said it. And she said something very, very important. That it is the person who executes, someone who takes first step with that idea. Before Facebook and Instagram, there was different other platforms that did something similar. But somebody is going to carry what exists, improve on it, and then it becomes. So don't, because you don't want people to steal your idea, put your idea and die with it. Put your ideas out there. It's not new. That's the truth. But as he said, please, if you can, also go and trademark your idea. Get some legal documents. But one thing I would just want to tell you is that most investors, and I'm talking about myself too, when you want to send me a pitch deck and you're telling me that you're going to attach a non-disclosure agreement, sometimes it feels somehow. And I'm talking to you based on how even Silicon Valley investors think. So sometimes it's like, okay, so you must just be ready to take a leap of faith. If God is saying this idea is your idea, fine. If somebody else is going to run with the idea, but don't, because you are afraid that someone else is going to run with this idea, then die with it. God is going to blame you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Enugu Tech Fest. We've come to the end of our panel. Okay, so somebody did ask a question on the paper. Can they come and find you after this session? Please come and meet Chief Gaius at the front here, okay? Thank you so much, Enugu. So when I come back next year, what do you guys owe me? Hotel management system, okay? Yes? All right, thank you. Thank you.
All right, now, that was a powerful panel session. Thank you so much, Lady K, and our amazing panelists. It was a beautiful time here. I think one thing that I got out from this panel is that nobody can steal your idea, right? Gamble it, pitch it, and most importantly, invest in yourself. You are an investment, and you should invest in yourself. So put your hands together again for that amazing, insightful panel session. Now we're going to be calling up on somebody very, very special. She's a friend and also the regional manager of Cafe One. I don't know how many of you know about Cafe One. You've been hearing about Cafe One now. The regional manager is here. Put your hands together for Lady Monica. She is coming on stage. She's going to use 2 minutes to talk about, Cafe One. However, we have laptops and tablets. Immediately she's done, we are going straight into that. And it's going to happen live on this stage. You don't want to miss out, so sit in tight. Thank you. Put your hands together for Miss Monica.
Thank you so much, Faith. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to be here today, but before I talk about Cafe One, please, can you put your hands together for the organizers of this event? I have been to events across South, South, and Southeast. Permit me to say, without any form of bias, that this is a well-structured event. I was incredibly very fascinated when I learned that a lot of students got free food. That is not easy to come across in this day's generation. And for the government of Enugu State, I am very, 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 very appreciative of what you've done. We are in Cafe One Enugu because the government gave Cafe One a free space for 10 years. Please, a round of applause for Enugu State government. So, Cafe One is a co-working space. Call it the best co-working space in the country. And we have our space located at 26 Okpara Avenue. What do we do in Cafe One? For the Enugu innovation being brewed into reality, Cafe One gives you a space to mingle, a hub, to sit and co-create ideas with people of like minds. If you've ever been to Cafe One, please, can I see your hands up? So currently, Cafe One has 18 locations across Nigeria. We have 8 locations in Lagos, Kaduna, Abuja, Uyo, Enugu, Ibadan, and we are opening Calabar in the next 2 weeks. So what we are doing, we are trying to build a platform where young persons can have a space to talk to people, to see a space to sit and work. And we have introduced the student plan, which means if you are a student in a tertiary institution, with 2,000 naira, you can walk into a Cafe One space and you will work the whole day with free Wi-Fi, good ambience, and a platform for you to meet persons. Did I tell you that Cafe One sells the best coffee in town? Yes, coffee is not cheap, But because we love what is happening in this state, we are introducing the Student Coffee Cup first in Enugu. That means we are giving you a slash 70% discount of what our current prices are currently in the selling space. Please, can we have a round of applause? We are trying. So apart from coming to Cafe One Space to work, you can host your events, your tech events. We've hosted about 18 or 20 events since we launched on 18 December 2024. And we are still counting the numbers of events that is coming in. Before I leave, I want to tell you that Cafe One is a subsidiary of Sterling Bank. And because of this, Sterling Bank is the only bank currently in Nigeria that does not charge a transfer fee. Zero transfer. Please, can we have a round of applause for Sterling Bank? So because of this good news, the first 10 persons that will visit the Cafe One booth at the marketplace, booth 33, to open a Sterling Bank account tomorrow, you will get funded instantly 5,000 naira, free, and we'll give those 10 persons a free Cafe One card, which gives you access to the Cafe One space and everything on a discount. I don't know, please, I expected someone to clap. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all the patronage. Thank you for the organizers of this event. Thank you for all you do for us. Thank you for leveraging on every opportunity. If there is anything I'm going to take back from this event, personal branding is key. Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Please appreciate her. Ladies and gentlemen, initially I announced 2 tabs courtesy of the convener of this event. But now, another good news is just like when you are praying and fasting for the fruit of the womb, and at the end of 9 months, your wife delivers 7. So now it is 8 tabs and 2 laptops. Let me invite 2 fantastic ladies to go into that. And they're going to apply 2 sessions. If you're intelligent, if you are bold, you come to stage. If you are fortunate, if God has answered your prayer, you will win a tab. Ladies and gentlemen, faith and choice. Fantastic 2 ladies.
Thank you so much. I mean, we've done so well. So if you want to clap, clap. All right about now, we want to see 5 individuals on stage. If you know that the tax that we want to give to you now is something that you can do. So, but wait. Let's make it equal, right?
Just hold on.
So please, let's follow the order.
Let's start with the secondary school. How many secondary schools do we have here? How many secondary schools are here? How many different schools? How many are here? 3, 4. Okay. 2 female, 2 male from the 4 schools. File out. 2 male. If you know you're very bold. I just said 4. I don't want to see 6. If I see 6, you all are disqualified. So use your brain before you come. Use your HQ. If I see 6 people here, you all are totally what? Disqualified. 2 girls, 2 boys. Secondary schools only. For the 4 schools, 2 representative females, 2 representative male from... I hope you're getting me. It means 1 each from the 4 schools. All right, let's be gender sensitive. A suit. Make some noise. A suit, make some noise. Can I get a lady from A suit? A lady, okay, come forward. IMT, make some noise. IMT, make some noise. If I like your shirt, I'll pick you as a guy. Can I see your hands up if you want to play this game? If I like your shirt, you're very enthusiastic. Please come. I like your enthusiasm. Come out. Your neck.